Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Quorum Podcast. This is where academic medicine meets remote, austere, and resource-limited areas. Welcome back to the program. This is Aebhric. This week, we are talking with Arne Dierlich, who is an offshore paramedic working in North Sea, 300 kilometers off the coast. Arne, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
So we met you in Pretty Bay, Malta, on the prolonged field care course, the Offshore Emergency Care course, and then you came back for our POCUS course, the APIS as well.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
And we tried before that in Norway, but COVID got in the way, if I remember right.
Yeah, that was a little bit it was pity because my business colleague and friend Regine Fagner and our medical director went to Norway, and it was planned that we do it together, just to find out if this AEC course is something our company can profit from. So we did it now because COVID kicked in, so I had to stay on board for several weeks more. Both of them went to Norway. I had to do it in Malta. That was exciting because it's a different environment. And I came with our employee, Tim Strassheim, to find out if this course related to our current and future problems in the offshore paramedic business will solve problems and skills and knowledge for all our employees. Yeah.
So you're a German paramedic, which is called a Notfallsanitäter. It's a 3-year degree program.
Yeah, this is correct. I started 2000 with it. Yeah.
2000. All right. So tell us a bit about yourself, your background, and why on earth you decided to work on offshore wind farms.
Yeah, as I said, 2000 I started in the normal common ambulance emergency service business and worked on the ambulance. Took some time to learn in the practice. Then in Germany it's a little bit, as you said, it's a training program for 3 years, so it's not a bachelor degree. So your opportunities are a little bit restricted if you want to do more fancy things. So I went to mobile intensive care unit, did this for some years. I went on, worked in a university hospital as paramedic in the emergency room and IMC as well. But after a while, it gets boring. If you want to go on, if you want to improve yourself and develop your skill sets, that's not enough. So coincidental, I was invited to work offshore. There was a big NGO in Germany taking care of that. And I did this for 8 years. But it was a huge company with another approach to things. And I'm loving living medicine, emergency medicine, and that wasn't enough for me again. So together with my business partner, Ragi, at one point we decided to try it ourselves. We was team leads in the old company or in the previous company. And then we decided to set the course in a different direction. We wanted to improve the offshore medicine in Germany, wanted to improve ourselves, our skill sets, and wanted to develop us further and give other people, other paramedics, the opportunity to do the same. We wanted to build up a workplace where everybody can develop, can be him or herself with any restrictions. This was the reason we founded that company, Amphibious Medical Solutions. Yeah.
So how many people work for AMS?
For now, it's only one fixed employee. We have a medical director and 2 colleagues will be employed beginning of next year. We did some trainings with them, Rescue from Heights course. They attend for a week with us. And we are searching for German Notfallsanitäter, good ones. Especially, we would be happy about having some female paramedics in our team, because we believe that that the distribution in between male and female in the world should be represented in our company, in our team. That makes things easier. But for now, it's only 3 fully employed people right now.
And what your focus on is being a medical cover for the offshore wind farm. So tell us a bit about that. What exactly is your day to day? They're not actually in a wind turbine, are they? They're on a vessel that's within the wind farm. Is that right?
Partly. It starts that we work with the guys, with the wind technicians together for usually 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. We live with them on a vessel or a rig for that time, and we take care of all relevant parts of their health. So it starts from water testing, hygiene in general, like low level to prevent the outbreak of illnesses or problems. But we cover as well the emergencies. That means the medical emergencies occurring with every person, onshore, offshore, doesn't matter, like heart attacks or smaller things, as well like primary health care. So if somebody has a cold or a headache, they come to see us 24/7. But if it comes to an accident or a real emergency on the turbines, we are trained to go there by anyway. There's gangway systems, fast rescue boats, daughter crafts, or crew transfer vessels we can use to reach the site of emergency. And then we go to the point of injury to treat the patient, stabilize him. And at the same time, the recommendation of the German authorities that you need a specialized team for rescue from heights and depth. And we are trained for this as well. We have team leads, technical rescue team leads, a little bit higher trained than us paramedics, but we are trained to build up that technical setup to bring down the patient in a stretcher, accompanied by the paramedic, continuing the treatment while we are doing the technical rescue. So you have to imagine the turbines are in between 100 and up to 150 meters high. There's a lot of hatches you have to go through when you lower down the patient. So you have to switch in between horizontal and vertical position of the stretcher. And you can imagine if the patient is, for example, ventilated, you need a lot of medication, ventilator, oxygen. All this needs to be maintained and used while the patient is transported. And this is our job. Then we bring over the patient to the vessel or rig we are living and working on. And then we start more intense stabilization or treatment of the patient in our ship's hospital until the helicopter arrives to take the patient to shore, to the hospital. And we are alone. We don't have another paramedic with us. Like usually it's a team sport. We don't have a team. And we have a little bit of a restricted, not only personnel restricted situation, it's as well on the turbine we only have our backpacks, and then it comes back to the hospital where we can do a little bit more. But the problem is always the transport. That's the helicopter, the AMS we are waiting for.
If they have to come 300 kilometers out, it's going to be a couple hours, isn't it?
Yeah, for now it's not that far from the coast. It's the next years. The German waters are like going out into the North Sea, so it gets more far from the coast or off the coast year by year, because the wind farms are built more far out. And then it's a problem that the helicopter, there's this rule or recommendation that the helicopter takes a patient within 1 hour. And this is not possible anymore if the flight time is at least an hour to reach us. Now it's 45 minutes up to an hour until they arrive us, but this will be gone soon. And then they need different other opportunities, possibilities, to reach the patient.
So that's definitely prolonged care, and it's interesting you're using the learning of the 4 phases of ruck, truck, and house, which would be your clinic on your rig, whilst you're waiting for the plane or the helicopter. Mm-hmm. So, are you finding the lessons that you learned in prolonged field care and our austere emergency care to be useful and applicable to your job?
Yeah, this prolonged field care is something that I like and that I'm interested in since years. So I educated myself. I read a lot. There's this wonderful podcast, your podcast as well, and as well the PFC website. This is very, very helpful. But it's a lot of information, and for a nerd or freak like me for this topic, it's easy to get into it. But we needed something to give that opportunity and that skill set to every employee, every paramedic we will employ in future. So we need a basic education on this, and AEC we found out is perfect to train the different groups of persons. If it would be nurses, paramedics, doctors, to the same skill set and especially mindset. I think the main thing is a mindset you have to change. That will be a challenge for our new colleagues coming from the ambulance services. Within an hour, you get rid of your patient to a site where maximum treatment is possible. To switch that mind that we have to gap hours or even days until the patient can reach a definite level of care. And this is very helpful to get the basics in this AEC course. We found out for us. It's like a the core capabilities are presented very well. It's very helpful for us.
It is nice to have a 4-day curriculum where it goes through the PFC concepts whilst you look at the pfccare.org, the website. There's 6.5 gigabytes of information. It's difficult to chew through that, isn't it? It's just so much information that having it given, like what Dr. Sean Keenan did for the 4-day AEC, it kind of puts it out in sequence. I find it easier to think about and to implement instead of just looking through what Dennis Drema and Paul Lose have put, which is tons of stuff. It's lovely to have reference, but you need it in bite-sized chunks, don't you?
Definitely. It's too much to as well to expect like a as a boss kind of or a leader to just give that huge amount of information to our new colleagues working in a new environment. This is just too much. For an interested person, it's helpful, and as well for a little bit more experienced personnel, it's interesting to get the bits and pieces out of that massive amount of information. But to get into it, you need like a compressed, like essentials taken out of that huge amount of knowledge. This was perfect with the AEC course because all core capabilities, the not often spoken about problems like a crash syndrome. We don't have a crash syndrome SOP, for example. We had it, but in Germany the paramedics or the ambulance service they don't have it because it's not necessary to have it if you can reach a hospital within a half an hour or an hour. But for us, it's really important, and so we get access to that specialized knowledge in an easy to take way and an easy to understand way with that cause. And this is really important.
So PFC is definitely needed for the wind farms. What's the longest time you've had to have a casualty before you got them into the helicopter?
This was, for me, it was 3 days. That was not
Wow.
but it was not a very critical patient. But if you have a patient with abdominal pain, and that can develop, and we have extended possibilities to monitor that patient, to do advanced diagnostics, to find out what's going wrong, and to stabilize him. But you can't do so much. You can do a lot if it's a casualty, it's a IP, an injured person. But if it comes to medical part, you're restricted in your measures, and you can just keep the patient alive until or make it easier that he's not suffering that much. But you can't solve the problem. He needs a hospital, and then it comes to that part that you have to do nursing, and nobody of us as paramedics has learned how to do nursing skill, or learned any nursing skills, and take care of that comfort of the patient, and that little problems you add if you don't take care in advance.
That's true. I think as paramedics, we should have been nurses first and learned these skills, and then moved over to paramedic to do some of the advanced stuff, because we miss all of those small, we call it sheet vomit, right? All the nursing tasks for someone. You said 3 days, which is mental. Like having to deal with a guy that could have been critical, or could have moved towards critical status, and you're sitting on him for 3 days whilst waiting for the weather to clear, or waiting for the aerial platform. Yeah. That's skill that we never learned as paramedics.
Yeah, as well, we had another case where it was a suspected heart attack. The boat landing was iced, and a storm was coming up. So I captured a CTWare crew transfer vessel, a small vessel, to bring in the patient, because otherwise we would have to go in for 8 hours with a 145 meters vessel that takes a while longer. So I decided to take that small vessel, and I was alone for 6 hours with that casualty, or that patient, on a moving vessel, and that is another challenge. It's not only like prolonged care, it's as well evacuation care, take care of a patient for a longer time on the move, because we can't rely on helicopters to reach us. That is a massive problem. It's not only about the distance from shore, it's as well about the weather, as you said. Statistically, it's 95% of the year. The weather is okay to fly, but especially when it comes to the winter time with icing, rain, stuff like that, we will not get a helicopter, and we have to prepare ourselves and our minds to treat that patient for the time. Especially in Germany, we have a different system. We rely a lot of emergency practitioners, physicians, and they looked a little bit strange as I arrived alone with my patient, heart attack patient, usually treated by a huge team of our ambulance, 2 or 3 persons or paramedics, then another paramedic and a doctor come into that to treat that person. And I came alone and said, okay, since hours I take care of this patient, I did this. And as well, usually we do measures and give medications onshore. No paramedic would give or would be allowed to give. And this is special. But it is for me, it is, or for us, I can tell, speak for us, this is the amazing thing, that we can do a lot more things. We can deep dive into topics we never were confronted with. So it gets exciting, and it's I guess, or I believe that it is something I can do my whole life. Usually I changed jobs or changed position after 3 or 4 years. Now I feel like I'm at the place to be, and I can I can learn and perform things and develop further my whole life in this job. This is really, really important for me as a person.
So what is it about being an offshore paramedic that feeds that need within you? You just said that you're finding that being an offshore paramedic is very satisfying.
Yeah.
Why is that? What is it feeding within you that you need to be in these extreme environments?
On the one side, as I said, onshore we are restricted, very restricted, due to the German system. This is about to change now, but we always have a doctor with us, or we have the opportunity to get a doctor. We always can hit the brake and say, okay, now I reached my level of knowledge. Now I need help. I need a doctor. Offshore, we have the same. We can use the telemedical advice.
Nice.
This is really, really like a standard, and it is directly all vital signs, camera, video, audio, text, everything is live transferred. So this is a huge benefit. But in the end, until the patient is stable and have time to do telemedicine or get a telemedical advice, I have to rely on myself. And I know you was in special forces, and don't want to compare us with special forces, but it's a little bit same. I guess it's a little bit of the same mindset. You have to be the best of the best to treat your patient the best way you can do, and there's restrictions, so you can't just get what you want. Like onshore, I press a button, I call the dispatcher and say I need more. I will not get more, and I have to rely what I know, what I have as material, human resources, and I have to plan for myself. And this is it's interesting and satisfying at the same time. On top of that is that not only us as a like managing partners of that company, every paramedic in our company is building up their own workplace, and that means all SOPs are not written by a doctor, like top down. It is written by us and handed up to our medical director to check and approve that SOP we work with in future. So it comes out of the practical part, is filled up with theoretical input, handed up, approved, and will go back to every paramedic to work with. And this is, I think this is a maximum benefit, and make a lot of people happy, or will make a lot of paramedics happy.
I'll agree with you, Arne, that there is some crossover between what you're doing in the North Sea on the wind farms and what a Special Forces medic will be doing, because both people are required to do more with less. And what you're doing personifies special operations, because you're on this guy for 3 days straight and you're not getting him out. You have to be better. So a notfall sanitator in Germany is going to have somebody for 30 minutes at the max, and turf them off to a room full of doctors and nurses. Brilliant. I mean, that's the best thing for the patient. But in special forces, we aren't able to get a guy out quickly.
Yeah.
And it's the same with the offshore industry, the oil rigs as well. And what makes special forces special is not all the guns and all the cool guy stuff. And I did boats, a lot of boats and swimming and things like that.
Yeah.
What makes special forces special is that we do the basics well.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And I'm guessing as you as an offshore paramedic, you have to learn the basics that us paramedics working in a civilian environment, in a city-based environment, we don't have to learn the basics. We don't need nursing. We don't need to understand prolonged casualty care, and we just turf them off and focus on RSI and all these cool stuff because we don't have to know the basics.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
your comment is completely valid, mate. You are definitely within the realm of special operations.
Yeah, nobody's shooting at us. Fortunately, this is really nice. But we have several problems are the same, like in the tactical medicine. We have harsh environments. We have a lack of personnel. We have a lack of material or like equipment, medication. So we have to think forward, and we have to do our basics right, as you said, that we can go to the next step, to go to the next level of care, because only if you do the basics right and get the trend, you do vital signs. This is basic, doing vital signs. But next step is to see that vital signs over time and decide what is the trend, where it's going to, and what can I do to change that. That means that we, as we are a little bit, because of our previous works, we with other companies we trained the armed forces in Germany, so we're a little bit connected with tactical medicine as well, and we found out that it's quite similar to that work we do offshore. We have as well, or we implemented to our work, the zone concept. That means nobody shoots at us, but if the patient is hanging in the ropes or in the ladder, in the wind turbine, that's not the place to play around, to do fancy things. This is a red zone. We have to get him out of that red zone, and the maximum thing we can apply is a tourniquet to save the patient's life. And in the yellow zone, where you can lay down the patient, where he's not affected by the environment and the industrial surroundings, because there's electrical installations and all this is all dangerous. Then we can do the more fancy stuff. And the green zone is when we reach our vessel, when we reach our ship's hospital. Then we can do more advanced stuff. We try to reduce it to the basics until we are able, and we have found a place and the opportunity or the surroundings where we can do that more advanced stuff. This is, I think, this is quite common to or quite similar to the tactical medicine, and related as well a little bit to the special forces. And as well, you have that background. I don't have it. But we train a lot with people, learn from them, and we take that serious, because the knowledge or the experience you made in your environment, we can adapt it to our environment. And this is what I really love about that international courses, and loved about attending the quorum in Malta, to get the exchange with professionals with the same mindset, with professionals bringing their own experience. Like we had some Ukraine colleagues, nurses in the course, in the AEC course, and it was amazing to talk to them and to learn from them what they are doing. And they do things we would like to do. We are not allowed legally to do, like giving blood. This is a huge political topic in Germany. But to learn how they are doing it, and and to see that it is possible, that is motivating. And this is encouraging myself to go on with that, on that way.
It is good to see what other people are doing, and looking at the setup that you guys have, and it's very delineated to truck, house, and helicopter. Are you using advanced diagnostics in the clinic phase for your POCUS and your advanced diagnostic stuff?
Yeah. This is a very, very important point of our work, as we have limited possibilities to find out what the patient has and what problems will occur. We very early started to implement like rapid test, point of care diagnostics, like a laboratory or rapid tests on the one side, and this is a huge amount what we have now. We spend a lot of money, a lot of training into the people that we can find out, is it a heart attack, or have a look into the lactate and all this. This is one side. We implemented that to our SOPs and trained all personnel. But on the other side, I think one of the best inventions of the last years for medicine and especially emergency medicine and remote medicine is the ultrasound. And we trained all our personnel to, and as well some additional colleagues, to a German standard or German speaking standard for ultrasound. But we found out that that nice German certification. Germans are keen about its certifications, papers. It has to be all in the order, and it has to be the right certification. That this is not the way we need it. It's not enough to have a certificate that says you can do something. It's more important to have the skills and the training and the continuous development in something. And this was the reason I came to Malta and to the Aebhric course, the steer ultrasound course.
Pre-hospital ultrasound.
Pre-hospital ultrasound, correct, yeah. And this is amazing experience because it was a lot of online learning before that practical course. And these 2 days were so dense with practical trainings. We had to fulfill a lot of examinations, different types of examinations. So it was very, it was an intense course for me. And you have amazing instructors to teach ultrasound, Tom and Slaven. They are great instructors, great lecturers. That you and Aebhric were in the background to give some additional tips and knowledge, experience. That was very, very helpful. And we are now discussing internally if we can train all our future colleagues with Aebhric as well, like AC and Aebhric. And this is something we have to talk about.
Happy to do it.
This is it was one of the best courses in my entire life. Especially that POCUS course. I'm keen to learn more about that. And my vision is that we don't stop with basic things like eFast or the core ultrasound capabilities we learned in the course. This is just the beginning for us. We have the vision to go on doing nerve blocks. We want to do musculoskeletal examinations because a lot of minor things. This is mostly focused on emergency medicine, but we have a lot of people coming to us. They are doing hard work, hard physical work. They're suffering from back pain, knee pain, stuff like that, like minor things, common things you have in your daily work life. And ultrasound can help. We don't need
definitely
always an X-ray. We can find out a lot with ultrasound, and that reduces in the end. It reduces the costs for our clients if we invest in technique or in equipment and training for our people. Because one Medivac costs approximately 10,000 euros plus all the additional costs, and this is something I can reduce when I do the diagnostics offshore instead of sending the patient to the shore just to do ultrasound. Why should I do this?
You just need to sell it to them as a 10,000 euro flight or 2,000 euro IQ plus butterfly.
Yeah, correct. In the end, this is a calculation you have to do. You do your math. But this is special in this business, in this offshore or the wind industry business. Everything is about money. It's not like in the ambulance services where your insurance is paying for everything. There's set case how to say, like amount of money you get for one case.
Hmm.
We get a day rate, and we have to cover everything. So we have to decide ourselves, how do we invest that day rate? They pay us, and there's always on the market a cheaper company doing things with a lower level of knowledge, but the client, they're not medical professionals. They can't decide what is good to take, or what company fulfills all regulations and which not. And we have to decide where we invest our money. And we think that this is a technique which is beneficial for us, but mostly beneficial for the patient. And a nice side effect is it's beneficial for the client, and the company has to pay the bill. But we have to convince them, and we have to do a lot of teaching for the industry to tell them, or to teach them that sometimes it's worth to add a little bit to the day rate, to invest a little bit more, to save money on the long term.
That is the challenge with all industry paramedics and medical professionals. You're going to have somebody come in and offer the same medical cover and give somebody with a paramedic an AED and maybe a box of bandages and say, well, there's your medical cover. We'll do it for half the price. Yeah. And we need to educate the community and I think it is happening. I think a lot of the industry is realizing that we need better trained offshore medics.
Yeah. Yeah, and as well, for example, the ultrasound is something I found out. Everybody, or almost everybody, has an idea what it's for. And when I tell HSE specialist responsible for the contracts, tell them, see, if you have a problem with your ankle, you go to your orthopedist and have him look. What will he do? He's doing an ultrasound to find out, is there a massive problem we have to deal with now, or does it just take some painkillers and time? Mm. And this is a good example to explain them from their own private life what we want to try to implement to their offshore life. And now it starts that they realizing that it makes sense what we're doing.
Agreed. That's the way forward anyway. Yeah. Arne, thank you for the time and discussing the life of a offshore paramedic working on the wind farms. And I look forward to seeing you again down in Pretty Bay.
Thanks a lot for having me, and I'm looking forward to see you at the conference.
This has been a presentation from the College of Remote and Offshore Medicine. If you would like to earn CPD credits for this podcast, you can join the Council of Members. Being a member of the college gives you free CPD credit, free access to our virtual field guide, and discounts on our e-learning courses. You can join the team on our college website at quorum.edu.mt.